Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about a couple of symptoms that I had before I was diagnosed, but I didn't actually think were connected to IIH. So before we get too far into any more details, time for the intro. Hey everyone, my name is Ashley Stewart. Back in 2018, I was diagnosed with IIH. The long form of this name is called idiopathic intracranial hypertension. Some of you may also know this condition by its older names, either pseudotumor cerebri or benign intracranial hypertension. So if you're curious to learn more about what it's like to live with this condition, or what those of us living with this condition would like you to know, then I strongly encourage you to watch on. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell down below so that you get updated about further videos. I upload new content every Monday and Thursday afternoon. Before I was diagnosed with IIH, I had a lot of symptoms. And I had so many symptoms and so many things going on that I wasn't really sure in the end what ended up actually being related to IIH and what wasn't. So I love when you guys share your stories and tell me what you were going through because it helps me know what's kind of maybe connected and what's not. Now, we are using the lowest form of scientific evidence, which is our own experiences, but I really want to encourage you to all share your experiences because it helps with understanding that you're not alone, and it helps you and gives you a chance to also share your own stories. And I think that's really important. I want to make that known. I had a couple of symptoms that I've never talked about before because I didn't actually think they were related to IIH. They were also easily dismissed for other things and could have been for unknown reasons as to why these were happening. The two symptoms that I had that I want to talk about are a really fast heart rate and shortness of breath. So I actually contributed these both in the end to just being out of shape. I wasn't in very good shape at the time that I was diagnosed. I was at the heaviest I'd ever been. And so I'm just like, of course, I'm going to have a very high heart rate and be short of breath because I'm not in shape. That just makes sense. So I've dismissed these couple of symptoms until just recently. So I do want to go over it because obviously the doctors were concerned enough too, and I have a story behind that. I actually had a couple of EKGs done or ECGs done during the time when the doctors didn't know what was going on. And the reason for this was they were getting really, really high heart rates when they were taking my vitals. So, like blood pressure, temperature, heart rate, all of that. So, they wanted to know why. And the first time I had this done was one of the times that I went to the doctors when I was still in school. And then I had this done again in a walking clinic that I went to because my heart rate was high again. It's interesting now looking back because if anyone else has been through a high heart rate, like I said, I just dismissed this as my heart rate is going to be high because I don't expect to have a good resting heart rate when I'm out of shape. And also, I also don't expect to have a good heart rate when I'm not feeling well. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So I've completely put this in the back of my mind, but I did want to kind of share this in case you guys have been going through something similar at the start of your diagnosis and all of that. I don't know if we can really connect it directly to the condition or not, just because a lot of us are dealing with so many other factors that are going on, but that's just my opinion. So I have no idea at all about how much connection there is between high heart rate, shortness of breath with IIH. I have no idea. It's I don't think it's listed as a symptom, which is probably why I haven't mentioned it before. Next, I want to share the shortness of breath thing. For me, being short of breath is frightening because I have a history of asthma. I've talked about this before. I was in the hospital a lot between the ages of about 4 and 6 and until they put me on an inhaler for my asthma. I was in the hospital quite a bit. So being short of breath reminds me of that feeling again. Shortness of breath though is definitely something that I was experiencing, and it was upon exertion a lot. So it didn't take much exertion actually. I noticed this the most in between when I was walking to my classes at the very start. And I just thought, yeah, of course. I mean, I'm in terrible shape again. So just dismissing it as this isn't a problem. It's because of my own fault that I am having these symptoms. Like, I need to somehow try and get a workout in, even though it wasn't happening. I was so busy, but you got to start prioritizing that kind of stuff. It was a different feeling compared to what I remember when I had my issues with asthma. It's completely different, but still similar type of thing going on. I think the last time I remember having an issue was a really windy day in phys ed class. We were running outside, and that's the last time I remember having a really major problem with it. I think I was in grade 8 or grade 9, so I was about 13 or 14 the last time I remember having anything, and I don't even know if it was. Actually, if I remember anything from being little, it is that. It's the it's probably almost why I'm as scared of doctors as what I am, because a lot of the time when I was little, when I was going to see a doctor, it was because of asthma and infections, bronchitis, upper airway type stuff. So it was terrible. Like I said in one of my previous videos, the only time that I ever notice an increase in symptoms is around any type of smoke, dust, pollen, so like seasonal allergies, stuff like that. But it's I don't even think it's really a problem like it used to be anymore. At the very start of when I first started feeling really bad, so the first time I noticed that, okay, I gotta see a doctor now, I was going up any amount of stairs for me was just, it was bad. So I just attributed these symptoms to being out of shape and just being very fatigued from whatever was going on at the time. These are two symptoms that I completely dismissed because of basically being in the shape that I was. If you guys have any questions or anything that you'd like to add to the comments down below, feel free to do so. And as for now, that's it for today. Bye everyone.